All right, how's it going, everybody? Here we are back for the third episode of NateDawgs Vintage Baseball Pack Openings. We've got all sorts of really cool stuff this time. I'm really excited about this video. We've got, which we've done once before, another pack of the 1980-81 basketball Topps cards, and that features the Dr. J, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson card, which is just so cool that all three of them are on one card. It's kind of a cool looking card. When we open the pack, you'll get to see, but it's this regular size of like a normal baseball card, but it's perforated. So kids back in the day, you could tear them apart and trade them away and just do all sorts of cool stuff with them. Now, of course, they're much more valuable when they're intact. So something to keep in mind for those of you that are doing this for investment purposes, like myself. But before we get into the wax packs, I thought it'd be kind of fun to show people like just a tiny little bit of my collection. And we call this the PC, the personal collection. I'm just going to show you guys a couple of cool things. I'm going to just pull out a couple of random things out of the box here, but what do we got? Looks like mostly 70s stuff here to start with, but thought we'd show everybody that guy right there. That's actually a reprint with a rubber stamp, but sure looks fun. And we've got some old 1960s Topps cards here. I've got, let's see, Mr. Maris, Mr. Roger Maris. You can see the card's in really good condition. It's probably about an excellent, maybe an excellent mint, as the corners look pretty sharp still. This is an old 78 Topps card here. Not in the greatest condition, but Jack Morris rookie card there, which is kind of cool. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the Jack Morris. That's just a bunch of guys I don't know, so my mistake. Moving on, we do have a really cool 1965 Pete Rose. That's probably, again, excellent mint in that range. I do have some really actually cool an old 1952 Topps cards. Those are just so cool. You can see the different styles. This is actually a photo that was like dressed up by an artist. And then you can see the back variations here. One has got a red back and kind of some lighter cardstock. And then this one's got a black back and a much darker cardstock. These are so cool because there's so many different versions of them. Some of them have a little bit darker stock like that on the red card. It's dark like the black, but then has the red ink. I got a few more of those you can see. These are all commons, of course. I can't say I have any of the big time cards there, but you can see that's one of the dark red versions there. So really cool with all these different types of backs and stuff. I guess there's around 400 cards in that collection total, but there's like 600 variants or something like that. So pretty cool. Here's the Jack Morris rookie that I was looking at, and that's a really good condition. In fact, that's going to be my next PSA submission. I'm hoping that could be a 9. And just some other cool stuff. A PSA graded Kirby Puckett. It's not worth much, but nice card if you're a big Kirby fan like myself. Here's kind of an iconic card. It's a 1971 Topps Burt Bly 11. This one's in pretty good shape. It's you can see it's kind of an unknown company. It's not PSA or Beckett, but they rated it a 9, and it's in very good shape. But I would guess PSA would probably give that about a 7. And then lastly, just to kind of throw a couple more fun cards up at you, all commons, of course, but some 1952 Bowmans. You can see the artwork on these is just so cool and unique. Just a lot of fun. So anyway, that's part of the PC. Thought people might dig on that a little bit. Check out kind of the stuff that I'm into. Mostly, like I said, vintage stuff, pre-1980. Here's a glimpse of the ball that I just added recently. It's a Kirby Puckett signed ball. Just super cool stuff. Anyway, we're going to get right to it here, folks. So I have a bunch of stuff I was going to show you guys today. We're going to start with some of these 89 Fleers. We've opened those before. We're looking for 3 cards here. One is a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. And, it's not a, gem mint. It's probably worth about 40 or 50 bucks. But other than that, it's maybe a $20 card, like raw like this, fresh out of the pack. Then we're looking at a Randy Johnson card. And again, you guys can refer to a lot of my old videos as far as getting an explanation on the Bill Ripken card, which is the 3rd card that's got some value in this. And that card has just got some real history behind it. It's got the expletive on the bat handle. Again, refer to that first video. It's a really cool story. But those are the 3 cards here. There's a couple variants on that Bill Ripken, as I mentioned. If we get him, and we'll go there, and I'll explain a little more. There's a Gary Sheffield. That's probably $1 card or so. Something to at least pay for some of these packs that I bought. Most of these cards are pretty much worthless, though, other than those 3 big ones. Again, there's a couple like dollar versions, maybe like a Craig Biggio rookie, the Sheffield, as I showed you. There's a Barry Bonds, a Kirby Puckett. Some of those guys are worth maybe $1 or $2 on eBay. So just going to continue knocking some of these out, guys, going through them. John Farrell. Cal Daniels, not a lot going on here in these first 2 packs, unfortunately, but the cards are, you can see, they're just in amazing shape, pretty well centered as well, actually. You can see that guy is beautiful, almost perfect, as far as the centering goes. So keep on cruising through these. This is a Jack Morris. He just went into the Hall of Fame recently. That might be $1 card, possibly. Anyway, nothing in the second one. Gonna go on into the 3rd pack. I've got 4 of these 89 Fleers to open here. So like I said, just keep blazing through. I got some other stuff. I showed you that basketball pack. There's a Mattingly. That might be worth $1. But I also have, there's a Mike Schmidt. These 1989 Upper Deck packs. I've got about 8 or so of those. We're going to open some of those and look for a Ken Griffey Jr. card. And that's a really cool card, man. Hopefully we find one, because then I can show you some of the features of the card. Upper Deck, that was their very first year. And so very iconic set, I guess you could say. Of course, Ken Griffey is the headliner of that set. And his card in Gem Mint 10 can be worth about $500. So, and it continues to go up. So really nice card if you do happen to come across the old Ken Griffey. And again, it's that same year as these Fleers, so that's why I thought it would be kind of fun. You can maybe recognize some of the players. But again, Randy Johnson rookie card in there. That's probably the 2nd most valuable card. And then there's a flipped negative, I guess you would call it. And I don't remember the player's name. We'll have to look it up here. But if you get that card, that's worth a little bit of money as well. I guess you'd call it an error card. And it's some no-name guy. But it's cool. We'll give you a look at the cards here in just a second. This is the last of the Fleer that we're going to open tonight. So didn't pull anything money there, really. A couple dollar cards here and there, as you saw. Let's jump right into these cool Upper Deck packs. So this was kind of right after they transferred to the old wax packs. You can see kind of the difference. These were a lot easier to fake, of course, They're easy to reseal if you keep them in good shape. These are very hard to tamper with. If you split it open, it's pretty easy to tell. So this was kind of a jump in, counterfeit prevention, which I thought was really cool. I just like to rip into these things. Some people save the wrappers. I don't think it's a good idea to save them, because that's what happens is you get a lot of counterfeiting. So people will go and buy these wrappers online, and then they'll throw a bunch of commons in there, and then lead people to believe that they're getting a wax box of of beautiful cards where it's all going to be just commons, and they're making out like bandits. So that's another scam you got to watch for. But again, these more recent wax packs are a little more tamper resistant. So that's kind of fun with these 89s. So we'll show you the very first card here. It's Elvin Davis, just a common card, but it's got some cool features to it, which I'll show you on the back here. There's a little diamond, and that, again, was part of the counterfeit thing. They really wanted to make these cards tough to replicate. And you can see there's that little silver diamond on the bottom there, right in the center. That actually is a very important aspect of the grading of this particular card, which is interesting because I had a Ken Griffey Jr. of this card, which I sent in, and it was perfectly centered on the front. And I mean, I pulled it right out of the pack, so the corners were razor sharp. I sent it into PSA thinking I got a guaranteed 8 or 9 on this thing, and it comes back a 6, and I couldn't figure out why. So I called and asked, and that's what they told me, is that they said, look at the diamond on the back, which I did, and it was quite a bit off center, and that was a big part of the grading there. I guess there was some loss on the gloss on the front as well, which is kind of unusual for a card that would have been packed fresh. But we're going to blaze through these here. Some of them are upside down, so I apologize. I'll try to fix them here real quick. See if can't do that. They did throw some stickers in these things too, which I'm not really the hugest fan of, but I'll show you one here. They're probably hard to see on video, but they're like kind of like refractor looking. That says Padres on it. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not. And then there's like a Indian there, which is kind of cool. I always like that that logo. Anyway, we're gonna blaze through these guys. The cards we're looking for, again, that Ken Griffey Jr. card at the Eck, that's probably worth $1 or $2. And the Randy Johnson rookie, and then the negative card, the reverse negative card. So you guys are getting a good view at these. I'm going to have to take a look through them a second time to make sure I don't miss that reverse negative card. I've never actually seen one before in person. I've only seen them on eBay or on TV or whatever. So let's just keep on blazing through these. I've got another... I kind of wanted to show you guys some other cool stuff before we get too far into these 89s. I got a bunch of wax packs over the last maybe year or so. Here's like, this is what they used to sell in 1979. It's a 3-pack wax pack that you could buy at the grocery store. As you can see, 20 cents, which is super cool. Still in the original package. So that stuff is really gonna go up in value, I think, here over the next 5 to 10 years, as this stuff from the 70s and 60s really starts to disappear. People are opening more and more material, and less is out there. Here's some more 79s that I got on eBay. They're all raw, so there's, again, a lot of counterfeiting out there. I could have gotten had, but however, what I will tell you is you need to always buy from reputable dealers. So that's super important. Look at their rating. Look at their reviews. I even messaged a guy one time because I was trying to figure out if he had a good experience with a seller. So it's really important that those reviews are good and things, and it's still not foolproof, but that's the best way to kind of approach it. Unless you're going to get like a graded pack, which I do have one of. I was going to try to pull it out of the box here. It's kind of cool looking. It's not a big time company, but again, it's another 79. That's actually an O-Peachy, which is a Canadian version of the Topps card. It's basically exactly like the 79, except it's on a little bit nicer, brighter stock. If you know anything about the Tiffany sets in the 80s, it's kind of that type of deal where it's supposed to be a little more of a high class card, but these aren't really actually worth as much as the regular Topps, but that's pretty cool because it's in really good condition. It's a 9. You can see the back is like just gorgeous, so that stuff is a little safer to buy because it's graded, although those aren't impervious to it either. Here's an old 75 baseball wax pack. That's actually the oldest one I have. We're going to save that one for later. But I've got a bunch of 77s and some 78s and all that. So we'll get to those on another video. But I'm going to flash through these real quick here and see if we can't find ourselves a Ken Griffey Jr. Back to the task at hand. Yeah, I just love these old wax packs. I just think they're really fun. Roger Clemens, that's pretty cool. That's a nice card. You can see the diamond on the back of that guy is really nice. The centering's off just a little bit left or right there. On the front side, the back is really nice. That actually could be like a 9 or a 10 on the PSA scale. That maybe a $10, $20 card if that's the case. I'll have to look it up. I'm not real sure. There's another nice, what a good pack that is. Nice little Conseco there. You can see on that one, the diamond is quite a bit off center. So not as quite as nice as the Clemens. But this is a nice pack. Look at that. Ricky Henderson. Wow, that's kind of a nice pack I got there. Again, none of the big money with Griffey in there, but just a cool pack with 3 Hall of Famers. So. Well, not Hall of Famers, I'm sorry. But 3 studs. Okay, continue blazing through these guys. Just a really pretty card. I love looking at the backs, too. They're just so neat. Again, you can see that diamond is a big part of this set. So that counterfeit-proof stuff, really cool. So if you look sorry, that's upside down. I'll try to keep right set up as much as I can. There's an Ozzie Smith. He's cool. I actually have a really awesome full 1979 top set, and he was kind of the iconic card of that set. That was his rookie card, and it's just notorious for centering problems. So if you ever do see a PSA 10 in that card, it can go for anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. So that's a really, really valuable card. I have one that's raw, actually, and if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's more like a 7, maybe an 8. So a nice card, but at that point, it only goes down to about $100. So big difference, when you drop from a 10 to a 9 to an 8. So with the Griffey, it's like I said, it's about a $500 card in the gem mint. But then when you go down to a 9, it's maybe about a $150 card, and then it goes down to about a $50 card at an 8, and then it drops off quite a bit from there. So again, with baseball cards, if you don't know this, you might want to find yourself another hobby. But condition is everything, especially with those big time money cards. So these are just so cool. I'm going to just maybe pick up the pace a little bit here as we go through these, trying to find that Ken Griffey Jr. card. Apologize again for the upside down cards. Chet Lemon. Sure, some of you guys that are my age recognize a lot of these guys. If you're a baseball fan, as I was, not just a baseball card fan. I've got 3 more packs here. I'm sorry, 4 more. And then we'll go with the grand finale of the 1980 basketball pack. But yeah, I was a huge baseball fan just in general, not just baseball cards. And I told you before, I grew up in South Dakota, so I was always a big Twins fan, a big Vikings fan. Always the team I grew up watching, and of course Kirby Puckett was kind of big during that time when I was there growing up, and he became my favorite player, hence the ball. And I have quite a Kirby Puckett baseball card collection too, which is probably a topic for another show. Earl Hershiser, that might be a buck. He was a pretty good player. Joe McGrain. But yeah, the Twins, they were in the World Series and won the World Series twice in my youth, which was just so much fun. 1987, which just a great series with the St. Louis Cardinals. And then in 1991, some people call that World Series the best World Series of all time. I do. And that was when Jack Morris threw a 10-inning shutout, and they went on to win that World Series. And one of the more clutch performances ever in the history of the World Series. So I became a Jack Morris fan overnight. He wasn't really synonymous with the Twins. He just happened to kind of catch on with them towards the end of his career. I think most people recognize him as a Detroit Tiger for most of his career. But he was just a great clutch game pitcher. You know, he kind of reminds me of his Kurt Schilling. He was kind of in that mold where he wasn't the fastest. You know, he didn't throw that 100-mile-an-hour smoke, but he had pinpoint control. And he did strike a lot of guys out. He did pretty well. I'm not sure what his career numbers were, but he had a pretty good little career with strikeouts and such. So there's a Barry Bonds. That's kind of cool. That's probably worth something. You can see the diamond on the back from top to bottom is quite a bit off center, but the card looks pretty nice generally. Also, almost perfectly centered actually, top to bottom and left to right. So that's maybe $1 or $2. That's finishing out that pack. We got 2 more of these. Blaze through them real quick. Just trying to keep telling stories to keep it interesting for you guys. I'd love to have some comments on the YouTube page. It'd be great to start some banter there. And I just love talking cards and the hobby with everybody and seeing what people are into. Again, like I said, I'm a vintage guy. This is kind of unusual for me to open something this new with an 80, with the 89s. But I'm really kind of focused on my 70 set building. That's sort of my goal right now. So I'm working on some 75 and a 78. I'm trying to complete those sets, and then I'm still trying to upgrade that 79 set that I have. The cool thing about that 79 set is I have 50 cards graded in that set, and that's pretty cool. So once that's done, I'll have those all registered at PSA, and I'll be on the PSA registry. And then they do some cool stuff. They have like medals and things like that, and you get a ranking at the end of the year. So like, you know, they take all the cards and average them out, and then you get like a numbered grade. And then, you know, they have a top 10 list and all that stuff. So it's fun if you want to get into, you know, doing stuff like that. It's out there. Last pack, guys. We're going to try to blaze through these again and finish strong with those 1980 basketball packs. So cool. I'm due to filming too, so this is something I'm trying to figure out, like what people want to see. Do they want to sit here and listen to me tell stories while I open cards? Do they just want me to shut the hell up and just open the cards, you know, and blaze through the packs because people just want to see the cards? So yeah, make some comments. I'm really curious as to what people like to watch when doing these baseball card openings. I really enjoy watching them on YouTube as well, and I've seen so many different styles. So I'm just kind of curious what people like out there. That's it on those guys. So unfortunately, no Griffey, but that was a lot of fun, and those are some really cool and iconic set of cards. So we're gonna finish up here, folks, with this beautiful 1980 Topps wax pack. Wow, I am pretty surprised because look at that on front. Bam! We've got a Dr. J right on top. That's probably, you know, a $20, $30 card. Most of the derivatives we're going to be looking for are either Dr. J, Larry Bird, or Magic Johnson. And as mentioned, there is a card with all 3 of them on them, and that card's worth quite a bit of money in a Gem Mint 10. So I think about 50 to 70,000. So if we score one of those, you're going to see some excitement. Anyway, we're going to go through these. You can really see that that Dr. J card's pretty cool. I'll bet that's worth something. I'll have to look it up here and see. It's in really good condition. It's a little off center. You can see the left side's got quite a bit thicker border there, I guess, than it does on the right. But cool cards nonetheless. Nothing major there. I don't see anybody too big on that guy. That's kind of a fun one. Bill Cartwright, he was a good player for the Chicago Bulls. Reggie Theus, Robert Reed. I've actually got 2 more of these 80 wax packs with me, and I'm going to take them down to Florida this weekend. I'm going down there with my wife and my family. to do a little time on the ocean and just relax and have a vacation. And I'm going to take some of these packs down with me and open them up with my dad and my brother. I just thought that would be really a lot of fun. There's Bill Cartwright again. He made it twice into that pack. And then there's Earl the Pearl. Sorry, they're upside down. But those are really, really nice cards. You can see they just really gorgeous edges and corners and all of that. That's a really fun set of basketball cards, guys. And then this comes in them. That's kind of fun too. You get to see the old picture of the guys and from 1980, coming off those disco years with some of those haircuts. So a lot of fun. You guys, thanks a lot for watching again tonight. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I was interesting enough for you to stick around and watch a couple more down the road. Have a great night.